day. I guess this will be the real day 300. Yeah. Damn, where do I even start? 300 days. I have a lot to say, a lot to talk about, I guess. First of all, give myself a little trim, as you can see. Damn. Hey. Um, where do I start? What have I done in the past 300 days? I've learned so much. I've moved, I'd say I've moved pretty fast, but I don't know, we could definitely be moving faster, definitely learning faster. Day one started as a start with day trading, and you know I I grinded that out, got pretty decent, but ultimately just didn't enjoy that whole thing. And how I've grown and changed in the past 300 days, I mean, I wouldn't say it's fully documented in this whole series, but you can see it, and you can definitely see it physically. Like, my hair has changed, I've lost weight and stuff like that. Change of scenery as well. In terms of what I've actually accomplished, um, honestly, nothing. Uh, and I kind of have to sit with that sort of failure, and I'm not sure if it's like you could tell me, oh, it's okay, like how many months has it been? What, 10 months, and you don't have to pressure yourself. Oh, you pivoted, like 5 months in, stuff like that. But I don't care. You know, I'm not looking for pity. I understand that I've fallen short many times. I think that's definitely just part of it. And I will continue to fall short and fail in the future, just a whole lot less, and also, yeah. Um, but the thing is, all these mistakes that I've made, times that I failed, they were important lessons. I've learned so much from that I carry that with me. So it's definitely influenced into who I am right now. Uh, I'm still trying to improve, trying to do better, um, and dream bigger, whatnot. The first, I'm only really considering like post pivot. I'm not gonna really talk about the past, like the initial stages. When I was working on day trading. But like ever since I pivoted, it's been a journey of learning and failing and finding my feet. Honestly, I had no clue what I was doing, where I was going, and what I was trying to do. And there were so many things that I hadn't learned that because I didn't know these things, it was sort of inevitable that I would fail. Um, Now it's not to say that. Yeah, probably, yeah. And I was gonna say something and I wanted to redact that because I realized how stupid that sounded. Right now, like, I failed. The business failed. Uh, and I don't have the money to sustain it any longer, so I had to quit. And then the focus has been to learn as much as I can, and squeeze like 5 years worth of learning and experience into like 6 months. Mostly just learning because there's not really that much more I could experience because that's sort of I can't control that one as much, but condense it into 6 months, and sort of develop some sort of unfair advantage that others wouldn't have. And the whole point being is that I came starting that business head first, which was good, but it's not knowing enough. And if you think about it this way, you've got like how long it would have I would have spent, trying to decide whether starting that business was a good idea or not, compared to starting it and just learning and failing and then fixing that shit up. Um, I think the alternate, like if I didn't start the business and fail, I might have spent like 3, maybe 7 months, who knows, just trying to learn things and actually getting nowhere and not actually learning important things that I learned from failing. So yeah, I'm gonna come back stronger. I've learned so much already in the past like 3 weeks, and I'm trying to learn more and more and more, and then just come back stronger, and come back with a better approach, and have a better, like, what do you call it? Like a feedback cycle, for me to understand, okay, is this thing actually working or not? Now I get that in reality, when just in life and just in any sort of entrepreneurship or whatever, um, it might take months for you to really understand, okay, this thing isn't working, because you have to let it run for months to really see any fruits of your labor, and then you'll decide, okay, this didn't work. Sometimes you can figure things out a little sooner. Maybe there's something you can find and learn that sort of indicates that it isn't working, and so you only spend a month before you make a decision whether or not to cull it or to kill it. Cull it. They both mean the same thing. Whether to kill it or just continue or just change your approach. And I think I need to take that approach a lot better. And yeah, in terms of how I've changed as a person in the past 300 days, I went from, well, apart from the obvious, obviously I didn't know shit about like startups, tech, SaaS. Everything about this was alien to me. I learned everything, almost everything I know about tech, SaaS, startups. I learned it within the past, how many months has it been? 6 months. And it could have been faster, admittedly, but I think that's only just, I can boil that down to a bit of, I was focused on other things, and also I was also a bit directionless at times too. And now that I've got a clearer path, at least for the next 6 months, you know, I do expect things to move a lot faster. But how I've changed in the past 6 months, like as a person, definitely feel a lot more lonely. Um, like I don't like in the past 300 days. Maybe you could see it in the videos, but I definitely seem a bit quieter and more reserved when I film these. I did notice that. And back then, the these videos would be a bit more, sometimes a bit electric, and I'd just be like goofing around a bit, um, like as if there's like a spark. But I don't know that. I think it's just because I don't really talk to my mates because they're all far away and we're all busy, so that's probably why. So yeah, maybe I'm just a bit lonely, but I've I've been struggling like personally with a lot of shit uh, throughout the not throughout the 300 days, but somewhere in the middle it started, and I was like, damn, and it's probably contributing to yeah. I think in the beginning of this 300-day plus series, you know, I think life was a lot more peaceful, a lot more. I think I was a lot more happy-go-lucky because it was. I then actually, um, I think it's just my life was just pretty normal, and I was for the most part going down just the regular path, and I wasn't really walking into uncharted waters. But here and now, the waters are relatively charted, but for the most part, I'm every step of the way has uncertainty. It's inherent. Like when you do not go down some regular path, even when there's like you got startup accelerators and whatnot, the path is set out for you. It's sort of relatively set out for you, but there's still a lot more uncertainty, especially when you are responsible for your own outcomes. And you just have to learn to live with that. I definitely have, and I fucking love it. I love the uncertainty. I love that challenge, and it's what I've been yearning for. But then, you know, the personal struggles I've been going through, and a lot of shit too. Uh, it definitely has. And I don't feel at peace. Um, I think there was maybe 1 week in the past, how many months recently that I've felt at peace, and okay, shout out to um, at Peace Studio, might as well. But I don't feel at peace with myself. I definitely don't. I want to say it's necessarily painful. And actually, no, it sucks. It fucking hurts. Um, certain things and whatnot, but I just don't feel at peace. And I don't know. I never used to think about this, but you know, I do have this sort of fantasy that one day I'm just gonna hang up the gloves and then travel the world, climb up mountains, trek, hike, and just experience, just be with nature and turn off my phone. Because I don't know, I just think that I'll just get away. Because but the thing is, I can't do that because I definitely can't do it now. Because for me, it's just been my nature to just to fulfill my ambitions. You know, like I'm hungry for more, and so if I stop now, I would be my mind would be even less peaceful because there'll be something not even at the back of my mind, in the front of my mind, just thinking, I shouldn't be here. I need to go out there and chase something again. But because I'm chasing, so I don't even know if you can truly ever be at peace, or if I can truly ever be at peace. Well, we'll see about that. Yeah. So yeah, the past 200 days have been hard. I've hit some really fucking low lows and maybe some brief highs. So it's been a lot more. Yeah, I've had a lot more lows than highs. And it's not that I don't think about these failures all the time. I just don't think it doesn't sit with me for very long. I mean, that's the whole point. I would rather have a bit of a goldfish memory so that I can forget about my mistakes and just move on, and just learn from it, and then just move on. Because that's how you move forward. So, but also, I have nothing. I don't have anything to celebrate really. So it's pretty fucking disappointing. I understand that for the most part, you're kind of just learning when you're starting. You're just learning, you, and then you just lock in. Once you found something, or you found a direction, that's when you lock in. And I've recently started to find that direction, and so I think now more than ever just the time to just lock the fuck in. Obviously, I haven't, like, beyond the next 6 months. I don't really know. I don't really know what's next, because by the end of the year, I say 6 months, but it's already August, so 5 months really. And by the end of the year, I should be able to know enough. And I'm not saying know everything, I just know enough. Because you can never know everything, and if you try to know everything before you decide something, you'll never fucking decide, and the opportunity's gone. So you gotta just have to go fast. And so yeah, by the end of the year, if I don't know enough, fuck it, I'm just gonna go. If I know enough, cool. But I won't know everything. That's for sure. Yeah. So as to what's next, I'm not too sure. I think I already explained what's next. It's learning, and then for next year, I'm between, do I try again with like the AI agency and something along the lines of that, or do I've found something worth validating. Who fucking knows? I do know is I don't have money. I'm broke. So I'm pretty broke. Well, I say broke, but like I don't have money to start anything, uh, build anything like a SaaS product, because SaaS products and shit, it takes a lot of money and time to even start. So we might have to, for the start of next year and for the foreseeable future, just do something that's a bit more low cost, whether that's freelancing, whether that's starting up an agency and having a brand, uh, building out a personal brand on LinkedIn and shit like that. It's like, you know, just stuff to hopefully build a bit of a sustainable income that I can leverage to actually get something started later later down the line. I'll think more on this later, but I've got direction, at least for the to the end of the year, and by then I have to make a decision, um, which wouldn't take long. I mean, I made the decision to move countries uh, while I was on the treadmill at the gym, and I think I did skip school that day, if I remember. Yeah. Uh, 22 minutes in. Okay. I've been meaning to film like a little time capsule, like a message to myself 5 years from now. I might film that after this one. I'll give a little teaser in this one. Hmm. I'll film it and just publish it for schedule it for like 5 years from now. Cause I actually never did that, or I think I did. No, I should be able to check scheduled videos. Yeah, but I don't have one, so I'll do it now. I don't think I have anything else to say. Um, oh, actually, I do have something else to say. If any of you guys have made it here, and you know who I'm talking about, Nathan and Jason. Let me go through a quick timeline of so far in my life, people who have actually influenced me and had genuine impact on the trajectory of my life. Uh, Obviously, my mom and dad. Siblings, sure, but no, not siblings. Siblings do help shape who you are, but um, my siblings haven't done like anything like genuinely like life changing. I don't know how to define it. As in like what they did or who they were to you influenced so much on what you ended up doing. Um, so I think the first example that comes to mind is Nathan. He introduced me to day trading. I got into it, and if it wasn't for that, I would not have learned my dislike for that kind of work that just doesn't have soul and passion to it. And if it wasn't for that, I would not have found or had the desire to find something else that felt meaningful to me. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have been stuck. I would have just been going to uni and sort of choosing a degree that I didn't really want to do, just because I was like, okay, I might as well just go to uni because I don't know what to do. But because I knew what I wanted to do and then ended up deciding it's not what I wanted to do, I found what I wanted to do. So there you go. There you have it. Just shout out to Nathan. Big ups to you, bro. Big ups to you. And then um, mm, I don't know. I think that's the only one I can think of because it's how recent it is. Um, um, well, actually, maybe we can just talk about canon events. Yeah, might as well. While we're at it, because I don't think I've come onto this YouTube and sort of explained my background that much. I don't know if I should. I don't think I want to. Shit. Yeah, nah. I won't. That's it for me. Um, yeah. Hopefully this video doesn't corrupt. It's like 30 minutes. We're 30 minutes in, and if it corrupts, I'll be very upset. Anyways, peace.